Also, we just got a chance to talk to Sebastian Jersey. I asked him about his partnership with Alex Ring. I was curious about like how quickly that sort of started to jump onto your radar, once they started training together, and how much that's been a part of what we've seen with Alex kind of transitioning into his more attacking role as being able to play off of Sebastian, and just that partnership that they've got going.
Yeah, I think we saw that right away last year when Sebastian arrived, as far as getting Alex a little bit further up the field and having him in a little bit more advanced role. And again, Sebastian, good players always find good players, and they're looking to combine with one another. And when you have Diego and Cecilio and Alex, and Pepe and Valencia and Maxi and all these guys in the attack, you start to see some combination play, which is nice. But their relationship, I think, has grown, certainly as they've been around each other more, and we've had a good preseason to work through some more of that as well. But they're both very important players that give us certain attributes in the attack that we like. And again, they work hard and tirelessly defensively as well. So on both sides of the ball, those are two very responsible guys that are going to mean a lot to our success this year.
Thank you, Chris. We'll go to Eric Goodman with the Austin Chronicle. Eric.
Hey, Josh. So this time last year, not only did you have a new club, and a new squad, but a squad that because of COVID couldn't gather as much. We talked a lot back then about finding creative ways to forge that togetherness. I imagine things have been a bit different this year, and you have a lot of people returning who know each other much better. So how are you feeling that togetherness? How much improved is it than it was this time last year?
Yeah, I think it's drastically improved. I think a lot of the credit goes to the players as well. As much as we work and we're together inside our training center and on the field, they've put it on themselves as well to do things off the field. We bring some of that as a staff, and having families come to games and having cookouts for everybody, again, to bring people together. But the players have taken it on themselves as well off the field, and had some meals together and brought karaoke. And again, it's important to focus when we are at work, but it's also an important aspect, the human aspect, to relate and be around one another and enjoy each other's company and get to know each other better, because the season's long and it's a grind. And when these relationships are deeper than just the training field, it makes for a great relationship for the entire season. And we're trying to build, all of our guys into this idea of we're a family, and this is a big part of it. They got to show that they're family on the field when things are good and bad, but that those things are forged off the field as much as anything.
Who's the best karaoke singer?
I didn't get any feedback on that, but I'm sure we got some good ones. But I'll do some research for you and try to let you know.
Thanks, Eric. Let's go to Dennis De La Pena. Dennis.
Hey, Coach. This time last year was such a different feel. We were asking you about almost anything but soccer, it seemed like, because there were so many firsts and newness, that whole factor. How different is it? How much more calming is it to actually be able to focus on the soccer with this more talented, more cohesive roster?
Yeah, I think it's good. The foundation has been laid. I think our identity and our style of play is in place, and we want to get better at both ends of the field. And we've put a big emphasis on that in preseason, and again, building relationships, bringing in the new players and getting them up to speed with the way that we work and what our expectations are. So I think it's certainly in a much better place, and we expect that to help translate onto the field in a quicker way. But each game will present its own problems, and we'll prepare for each opponent in its own way. But the guys are fresh. They're obviously excited to get the season started. And again, there's more focus on the soccer elements, and as well as the off-field stuff. But once the season starts, it's good to get going, and the intensity will ramp up. But it's much different than last year. You're absolutely right.
And a quick follow, how different is it for you? Because Claudio had some good comments. He talked about how reflective you are as a coach, and there's just so much to learn that first year as an MLS head coach. How different do you feel, and maybe what couple areas do you know that you're improved and different now?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that I reflected on individually for me as a coach, but as our group and looking at our game model. So I lean on Claudio for some of that insight as well, and our coaches for feedback, and coaches around the league. And I think it's a big part of growing as a player and as a coach. You have to be honest with yourself, but it's also good to get input from others. And again, I think I've learned a good deal tactically of how we want to structure things and how we want to work through the week with our players. But again, our players are in a different place. They have a pretty good understanding of what we're trying to do. So there's less teaching and probably more refining, which helps us dive right into more precise actions and precise moments in the game. So from that standpoint, we feel pretty good about it, and we're looking forward to a competitive game here at home against Cincinnati.
Thanks, Josh.
Yep. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Dennis. Let's go to Roger Wallace. Roger?
Hey, Josh, you mentioned it. It's a long season, the way it's set up this year, but there's only one opening day, your first opening day at home in the 2 years. Do you sense it this week with the guys that this is a special few days coming up?
I think so. I think the fact that we had a preseason game against Atlas, against a very good opponent in Q2, really set the stage for what this game will look like and feel like. I think we were very fortunate to get a game in our home stadium and with our fans, because it does prepare you. It's a different intensity when you play that preseason match, comparing to any other preseason match that I've ever been part of in MLS as a coach or a player. It really creates a different vibe and a different intensity. And that was exciting to see. And the players' reaction and response to the fans and to the moment was very good. And there was a lot of quality in that game, but just our intensity and our maturity within the game, I thought was really good. So getting back to Q2 and getting in front of our fans is something that's extremely special and unique. And I think it's going to be an incredible atmosphere and an incredible first match of the season.
Well, it doesn't sound like it's gonna be incredible weather. I mean, does that change things, and are certain guys a little bit better in bad conditions than others?
I think it's certainly going to be part of the storyline. Today was a difficult day at training, but again, our ability to get out here, understand it's cold and windy, understand things aren't going to be perfect, but stick to the game plan and be able to perform. Those are things that are going to be important all year, whether it's warm out or whether it's cold out. So we'll keep training, and our guys will be prepared for the weather, whether it's good or bad. But we understand no game is perfect. You got to be able to deal with the adversity within the game and make decisions based on what you're seeing and what you're able to execute. But we still expect it to be good enough weather for us to be able to play that we want to play.
Thank you very much, Roger. Let's go to Laura at Telemundo. Laura, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. I have a question. Last Friday, Claudio Reina said that the team was hoping to see the players earn the spot for this season. How do you plan to do that dynamic? And if we're going to see like a lot of rotations to be able to see that, or how is it going to work for you?
Well, we have a competitive group. We have a deeper roster this year. I think we come in with a bit more quality, certainly than we had last year, and much more character and leadership within the group. So it comes down to performances, and those decisions will be for me to make throughout the week. What gives us and our team the best opportunity to win games. But having a squad that has quality and character and depth is a good thing. The season's long, and different opponents ask different questions, and players form and health can come and go. But I think we'll try to run our best 11 each and every game. And again, I think we have enough depth and quality that if needed, we can certainly go to the bench and still get results that are required.
Thank you, Laura. We can go to Jorge. Jorge, go ahead.
Hi, Josh. How are you? I have a question. Some national journalists they put the team out of the playoffs on their predictions, and also on Las Vegas we are 75-1 for a championship. How do you feel? What are your thoughts? What do you think?
I think there's an opportunity there for the betting fans to be able to possibly make some money if the odds are that stacked against us. It's a great opportunity. I think it's part of coming into the season. I think everyone sees how we finished last year and where we finished. If we looked at that certainly through our lens, and even as the season concluded, we knew we had certainly better performances as we got Sebastian and as we got a striker with Musa. So I think there was a lot of optimism, and again, I think those opinions are fine. They're part of what makes sport, and we have the opportunity to utilize that message and that idea of what the experts of MLS think and their predictions, and we'll use that as a little bit of fuel. But we're confident in what we're doing, and we'll look to go out and perform each and every week. And the way you earn the respect of not only your opponents, but the pundits is to go out and perform. And that's what we expect to do. And that's what we plan to do.
Is that an advantage? Somehow they're not expecting and you guys don't have that pressure?
Well, I think, I think there's always pressure. This is professional soccer. So whenever you show up on game day, there's pressure to perform, there's pressure to win. The expectation, I think, for both teams is they're going to show up to win a game. And that comes with pressure regardless. So again, I look at our group as a very hungry group and with plenty to prove. And we have the quality and certainly the character to go do that. And it's not to say the season won't be challenging. There's going to be challenges littered throughout the season, but we've got to be prepared for that and obviously continue to look for consistency. I think the biggest thing for us is, build on our performances and look for consistency, but we got to win games. And I think that's a big part of what's going to put us, certainly in a position for the playoffs and things that we want to achieve this season.
Thanks, Jorge. Much appreciated. We have time for two last questions. We'll go to John Rojas first, and then Chris, you can close this out. John, go ahead.
Thanks, Ryan. Josh, thanks for the time. Austin last year was an entertaining team to watch, but most of the times you guys didn't come out with, the results that you may look for. Is that after the review of the season, is that something that you put on maybe the personnel and that reflects on the changes made for this season? Or is more on the tweaks tactically that you can adapt for this year and have more punch and balance at the same time?
Yeah, I think both. I think it's a great question. I think it's both. I think, again, looking back, when you don't have a striker for majority of the year, that provides challenges. When your left back goes down early in the season, the second game, and a center mid's not available for at any point. There is some challenges that we didn't really expect to see. And those things we faced and we dealt with as best we could. Having said that, as the season went on, as we reflected and looked at it, there's certainly some more balance that we need to play with and have a little bit more understanding of our positional game so that we're not as exposed as we were last year. We gave up a lot of goals in transition in various stages of phases of play. So those are things we've really worked hard on in preseason, and we've seen good rewards. And certainly the way that we've started the preseason, some of our actions against these teams, very different opponents, I think has given us, certainly good belief of what we're bringing and how we've introduced it to the guys. The execution has been pretty solid as well. Scoring goals is always going to be important. We want to score goals so that we can win games, but we have to be able to defend properly. And I think those things will go hand in hand. We got to score goals. We got to prevent goals, but looking for consistency in our performance is going to be key.
Chris, go ahead. Close this out.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about the announcement that you signed Charlie Asensio. What stood out about him during the preseason, and what role, if any, do you expect that he'll play through as this year progresses?
We're delighted to have Charlie signed with us, and he's a player that's going to learn a great deal of what it looks like in the professional world. And good left-footed player, can play certainly as a left back. We used him at one point as a left wing, but good technically and has certainly a good understanding of the game. And I think those things go well with what we're trying to do. As with any young player, it will take time to get fully up to speed with how the league works, and we'll have to try to find ways to supplement minutes for him, but we're happy to have him signed.
Do you feel like he fills out like that left back spot? I know you guys were looking to maybe add some fullback depth, and Claudio mentioned that he might be working on something. Is that perhaps a sign that you guys aren't working on anything anymore, or is that still something a spot that you feel like you could fill on this roster?
Yeah, I think it's a spot that we can continue to look at it and make some additions, but there's also other areas that we'll keep our eye on as well. And having a spot open does allow us to see how things unfold in the first couple months of the season to really address any needs, but that's certainly one possibility.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. Thank you, Josh. We will see you Saturday.
Great. Thank you.